Hey, welcome to These Two Guys. I'm George Henry.
And this is Larry Richardson.
Now, we've officially chosen the name of These Two Guys. Now, if you were one of the ones who sent in a suggestion for a name, we will tell you now that you are still in the running for the $500. What we're going to do is we're going to draw one of those at random and then give the money away. What do you think? Think that's a good idea?
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, I think that's fair because we said we're going to give the money away, and I don't want to not do it because then we're out of integrity. But the name that we came up with ourselves, we thought was better. We had some good names, don't get me wrong. We had some very good names in there. But this just seemed to work, and the website was available, and except for These Two Guys written out TWO, that was like $30,000 to get that one. But These Two, number two guys, was available. So we used that one there.
And it fits.
Yeah. So last week, and I know this doesn't sound like a big number to those of you just joining in, but we almost hit 200. In fact, by the time you watch this, we probably will have gone over 200 on one platform. That's just YouTube alone. Now we are also on Spotify, These Two Guys. We are on Amazon, Apple. Did I miss one? I think that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So those are the places you can find us. If you have Spotify, you can check us out there. We'd love to have you join us on that platform as well. But YouTube is our main one that we're using now. Our YouTube channel currently is at George Henry Radio. All right. We'll probably end up switching that over to at These Two Guys at some point down the road.
Yeah. That sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So last week we talked about Epstein.
Oh.
And I was surprised we got a lot of movement on that for this, the beginning stages of what we're doing here. But it seemed to, though we said, we don't want to be political, and we weren't really. I don't think we were.
No. There was a pretty bipartisan conversation.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't bashing any one party. We were just saying the whole thing kind of smells.
Yes. I mean, from the very beginning, from 2005, that first conviction, it just kind of, the guy slept through the cracks for a very long time.
So we got through Epstein. I don't even think we were through recording the episode on Epstein when the next thing hit.
And that was Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney. So obviously this got a lot of people up in air.
Yes.
But this is not the first commercial to do this. This is not the first controversial commercial that has ever been recorded.
No. Through the history of commercials,
Yeah.
they're all been pretty much. You get to be challenged. You got to put something out there that gets people attention, and sometimes it's that edgy commercial that pulls people in. You got to hear something that's like, oh wait, did I just hear that? What was that? Booking.com, booking. Because now you're thinking the F word is being used. It kind of resonates with you. So yeah, commercials are always, it should be edgy.
They've always been that way. And when you go back in time and look at some of the commercials, you had there was always almost always the man against the woman in the commercial. Mm-hmm. There was either the housewife kind of woman or there was the dumb guy.
Yeah.
The dumb guy that couldn't do anything right, and the woman was the hero in this.
Yeah.
And that was pretty much kind of, I think the 70s was pretty much where that was all about. You go back to the 60s, it was about women pleasing your man.
Yes.
It was all about that. In fact, one of the commercials that we looked up was a commercial for Lysol. And they were suggesting that women should use Lysol as a feminine product. And do you have the tagline there? What the tagline for that commercial was?
The tagline was that one is, don't risk your marriage, use Lysol.
There you go. And that's, so, people could easily get up in arms. And there were a lot that were very edgy. There were a lot that did poke a little bit at race, and separatists and stuff like that. It's not something new. And all of a sudden, for people to get all of a sudden crazy upset about this one, it almost makes you wonder. Now, when we were looking through this, I found a commercial that just popped up on my screen there. And it was a remake of a 2011 commercial. It wasn't a remake, but it was a reposting. And it was Mike Rowe, of the Dirty Jobs guy. And he was on there, and he was talking about his mom and genes. And it was about cancer research and that. And it was about all in the genes. And so it was sort of the same take on that. Right. Not a sexual thing, But certainly it must have come back around for some reason. Somebody started posting it again for some reason.
I think people have been searching, like me, myself, I'm very curious. So I have been searching for controversial, commercials, mostly with American Eagle Outfitters, because it's American Eagle Outfitters that's under scrutiny. And maybe just because I couldn't find any, because it's all buried under Sydney Sweeney.
Right, right. There's so many hits
Right.
on Sydney Sweeney that you're not getting the rest of it.
No.
And it's interesting because you see even some people turning around and doing a 180 on it, like Megyn Kelly. Yeah. She was out against stuff like that. And how these women using their boobs to sell this stuff. And then the other thing, and then when the one from Sydney Sweeney came out, she was on that side.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't even get someone just to stay put in their opinions on something.
It's an ever-moving goal line,
So let me ask you, Larry, I mean, as a black man, what were your thoughts when people started saying, this is racist. This is, promoting Nazi beliefs. This is what was your first thought when you saw that?
Took me a while to figure out what the whole backlash was about, because, I see Sydney Sweeney's name everywhere, and I kind of thought it was related to her being cast as the Bond girl. Then I see this other controversy. So when I looked at the commercial, I watched it and I'm like, I don't see any, what is the race? Where's the problem here? Like, good genes. I mean, growing up as being black and people say the black don't crack, right? We don't get the crows.
Don't age, yeah.
And people have told me, oh yeah, you got good genes. Am I supposed to now go back and think that that's a racist comment as opposed to a compliment? So I don't get where the anger is coming from. When I saw it, I thought it had to be something political, because I see both Republicans and Democrats talking about it. And then I looked at, some of the people who were posting memes and TikTok videos and everything. And I was like, is it just hate? Is it jealousy? Is it envy? Like, where is this coming from?
Is it because they said it first?
Could be.
Because, if I were to say to you, how would you feel if I were to say to you, man, Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player ever, man, he came from good genes. He came from good stock.
Yeah.
What would that mean?
It would mean absolutely nothing other than it's a compliment to his family.
Yeah.
It's the athleticism that his father had or his grandfather had, and he's naturally built to do that. I don't see that as a. And now, granted, she has blonde hair, blue eyes. So if you really want to make something out of it, you have to kind of tiptoe around logic and find something to pull out of it. And I think that's what some people are doing.
What if she'd had brown hair and red eyes? Now I can see what they're saying, because the whole Nazi movement was blonde-haired, blue eyes, but it was pretty much about the guys at that point.
Right.
It was the men.
Right.
They had these staunch, muscular-looking. He wanted to create the perfect human, blonde hair, blue eyes, but that wasn't all it was about. So you can't just say, well, because she has blonde hair and blue eyes, that it's a Nazi-based commercial.
Thing. You can if you're
my sister. My oldest sister has blonde hair and blue eyes. Yeah. Well, she's a Nazi.
She must be. If she's got blonde hair and blue eyes, she's part of the master race.
But the other three kids in the family, brown hair, red, brown hair, brown eyes, red hair, brown eyes, red hair, brown eyes, red hair.
And you guys probably should be euthanized. Probably,
because we don't do that. Yeah, and my sister, the same parents. She wasn't, because my dad was blue-eyed, but he wasn't blonde hair. Well, he was when he was young. And my mother was brown eye and red hair. So it's just the traits we got from any one of the parents. So, it's so sad. It's like using a symbolism like the Punisher.
Right.
The Punisher
skull,
superhero. Yeah. That's all of a sudden now bad. So they've taken something and make it bad because one of the, I don't know if it's the Proud Boys or one of those clubs used that face. So it's like saying well, because you have blonde hair and blue eyes, we're going to take that as anything with blonde hair and blue eyes is a Nazi symbol.
I mean, so it really does speak to where the level of wokeness is today, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I would consider myself aware of what's going on. I don't think I have to consider myself woke. And I don't think I feel I need to put a label as being woke. I'm aware of what's going on. I'm aware that people do certain things. I'm aware that people want to have, 175 genders. I'm aware that, just aware. And I don't feel like I have to like jump into that same pool as everybody else and just be woke and then try to see things that aren't there. Like, I mean, who knows? I mean, to be honest, who knows? Maybe the people who wrote that ad did have that intention. Maybe that's what they thought, but the average person shouldn't see it. I mean, it's about jeans. It's about clothes. Yeah. And let's talk about Sydney Sweeney. She's the it girl right now. She's off of 2 hot TV shows, Euphoria and what's the other one? Oh my God, I forgot the name of it. But I think she also got cast as the Bond girl, which would be amazing because they don't have a Bond. They don't have a director. They don't have a script. They don't have anything, but they know they want Sydney Sweeney in it. So she's the it girl. So why wouldn't American Outfitters pick this girl? And if you pick the girl, and she's got blonde hair, blue eyes, she's got good genes, she's a beautiful girl, use it. Use it.
Now, if the new Bond movie comes out and the Germans are the bad guys, then we got a problem.
Then we got a
real problem with that.
Well, I think they might drop her now because I'm pretty sure she's, she's tainted right now.
Yeah, but by the time it gets around, and you know what? And that's another unfair thing. I'm sorry. I know for a fact, well, I don't know for a fact. I should restate that. But for example, if you see a commercial that has 2 men that are gay in it, there's a good chance that one of them might not be gay.
Yeah.
They might have been cast in that. They might not even have known that that's what the commercial was going to be about,
right.
Stuff like that. So there are instances where you get hired for a job, you do the job,
right.
And she probably got paid a pretty penny to do it.
I'm pretty sure she
did.
And
I'm sure they didn't go to her, by the way, Sydney, this is going to be Nazi-based programming here that we're putting you into. Yes. So before, you might want to sign off on it.
Yeah. Just in case.
In case you might want to sign off.
I cannot see the advertisement firm even thinking that anybody would see it that way.
Yeah. I'm in advertising. I write ads all the time, and I think, I don't know if we mentioned on the last one, but I told you about I did an ad on a Nashville radio station for a alarm company, and Cheech and Chong were the spokespeople.
Oh, yes.
For the alarm company. And they were the bandits breaking into the house, Cheech and Chong. All right? It wasn't a Mexican and an Asian man. Right. No, it was Cheech and Chong.
Right.
It wasn't intended to be anything else. And there were articles in the newspaper. It was all over the place that, that we were being racially biased toward Mexicans or, Latinos. And it wasn't that at all. It was Cheech and Chong. Yeah, that was the intent. And I know the intent because I'm the one who wrote the commercial.
Right.
There's
people out there who will literally just go out of their way, scour the internet to find something to be angry about.
Or to start a controversy. Because, if you get clicks, one person starts it and he gets 1 million clicks, he's making money.
That is true, too.
100,000 clicks, he's making money.
We should start doing that.
Yeah, see, folks, we need to get more clicks.
Yeah.
But, going back to you mentioning about being aware versus being woke, I had no problem with the term woke until it was defined by the far right.
Right. It's cancel code.
Because the far right defined it something as different as what I thought it was.
Right.
All right. I thought being woke was not that I agreed with all the left-wing things out there. Mm-hmm. Not that I agreed with all the different ideals out there, but that I was compassionate for those who were caught up in it.
Yes.
And that's what I thought woke was. To me, that's what woke is. It's not that I agree with everything, but that I have a compassion for those people who, for one reason or another, whether it's they feel like they were born in the wrong body, they had a mental illness. I mean, because that's part of it too. They were brought up in an abusive family. I have compassion for those people. Now, if that's what I thought woke was. Now, today it's woke is like you have to accept all of that to be woke.
See, and that's where I see woke is. I see what your first definition is as aware.
Yeah.
because I know people do go through these things. I have friends who kids were, I mean, literally watched, as a 2-year-old grew up, and it was clear, even though it was born a male, he was born a male, he was a she, and to this day she is a she, and you can just tell. You can just tell. It wasn't something as a small child that anybody was influencing this child to do it. This child felt that she was a female trapped in a male's body. So I'm aware that's the case, and I don't have, I'm not going to say, oh, that's not the case. No, there's only 2 sexes. No, I realize those things are real, and I can be aware about it. But if I tell somebody there's still only 2 genders, regardless of how they are, internally, then I'm not being woke. And then that's when the cancel culture kicks in. And that's to me, that's where the problem is.
Well, and then you get to the idea that if there is a young man who feels like he's a woman trapped in a man's body, as a parent's responsibility, I personally, and this is a personal opinion, it's not necessarily belief, but I personally don't think a parent should encourage an operation to change that until that child is aware enough on their own in a grown brain.
Agreed.
And we know nowadays with science that the brains are taking longer to get to that point of accountability.
Right.
So I don't want to see someone at 15 go, I'm going to have a sex change operation, until they're aware of all the consequences, regardless of that. And I'm not saying they shouldn't have it. I mean, there's a lot of things we can do out there. Not saying we should do all of them, but there are things we can do out there to make a person feel more comfortable with who they are. But it has to be at a time when they are aware of all the consequences.
Correct. I agree.
That's my opinion. You can agree or disagree.
And see, that's to me, that's being aware. Now, having that independent thinking, somebody would say, no, you're not being woke. You're not woke enough, or whatever.
Thank you.
But I mean, I agree. If a child grows up and they feel like that's what they need to do when they come of age, because who knows, kids are so easily influenced by what they see on the internet. They want to mimic. They want to be like their idols. They want to, feel like they need to fit in. And if you're watching someone on social media and I want to be like that person, then they have a downfall or whatever, and now you realize, oh shit, I got all this shit done, and now I got to go back. I don't want to be this anymore. And then what do?
And there are occasions where that happens. Mm-hmm. They think, well, this is who I am. Then they grow up. I don't know what happens. I don't know if it's puberty. I don't know if it's mental awareness. I don't know what it is. But then all of a sudden they say, that was a phase. Wasn't really who I was.
Right.
It was just something I was looking at.
Right. And I think that's probably kind of what led to this whole Sidney Sweeney thing. I think I mean, like you said, it could have been clicks. It could have been something that somebody thought that, hey, if I start this, it's gonna blow up, because right now the climate is perfect for it. You can seed anything out there, and people will just hook, line, and sinker. They want to pull it in. They want to show their outrage for it, or what. So it could have been someone sitting at home. It just got jealous.
Yeah.
Just like some jealous person is like, I'm going to say this,
Or it could be something as simple as the advertising company had 2 guys, or a guy and a girl working on this, a lady and a man working on this. Could have had that going on. And somebody else in the office thought they had a better idea, and when they got passed over for it, they put it out on social media under anonymous or something. Or it could have been another advertising agency says, "Oh, we're going to have fun with this," and just stick it to them. Well, either way, if they did it on purpose, I don't feel sorry for them. But if they did it just because they thought this would be a good commercial to sell jeans, I feel bad for American Eagle.
Yeah.
But if it was intentional, I don't feel bad for them.
If it was intentional, it was genius, because their stocks went up with like 20%. They sold out of all those jeans, from what I understand. And then there's also the political aspect. Apparently, I just heard yesterday that now everybody's talking about her being a registered Republican.
Yeah, I saw that too. I saw
So
that too.
could that have been something that sparked it? Like, I mean, you never really know, but
But even so, if you're an actress and you're a registered Republican, what is that? Did they sit there and go, okay, find me the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress who's also a Republican to do this commercial?
commercial.
I guarantee you she was chosen. She didn't come to them and say, hey, I'm blonde-haired, blue-eye. I'm a Republican. I want to do a commercial with you guys for jeans.
Oh, yeah.
And I want it to be either, racially motivated or socially motivated in a negative way. And I don't think that happened.
No, I mean, she's the it girl. Everyone has their moment where they're the it person. Everybody wants to go to them. They want to pull them in. They want them to do their commercials. They want them to show up at their clubs. They want them to speak. They want them to be a spokesperson. And Sydney Sweeney is the it girl currently. Like I said, she was eyeballed for Bond, and they're trying to get her to do Bond. They don't even have a James Bond yet. They don't even have an actor. They have nothing. But we know we want her because she's the it girl. She's had flops like that Madam Web, the Spider-Man Sony movie, complete flop. But everybody loves Sydney Sweeney in it, and a lot of people went to go see it because she was in it.
And see, that's where you have one over on me, because until I saw this commercial, I wouldn't have recognized her from anything.
Oh yeah, she's.
Yeah, I never watched. I don't think I ever watched anything she was in, or.
I mean, she's really danced around controversy. I think the only thing is they accused her of dating a Glenn Powell, I guess, because he was a co-star in one of her movies, and they kind of joked off of that. But I guess she's engaged to be married. But she's only 27. She did a movie called Immaculate, which is kind of like one of those paranormal type. And I could have the category wrong. I watched it, and after like 2 hours, I was like, man, I can't get that time back, But it wasn't a completely terrible movie. But I'm just watching it, and she did okay acting. I wouldn't think she was a great actress. I don't think she's a bad actress, but she's the it girl. She's the one that everybody wants, And
so let's go back. Let's go back to the whole premise of the commercial. It's a very sexual ad. You can't say that's not true, right? You agree with that?
I think it's very sexual. I mean, it's like what was Jessica Simpson, and the Wendy's or the Carl's Jr. burger, right? With the car
and
wash.
the one riding the mechanical bull eating a burger. There was that.
Or she's
one.
washing the car, and she's got like the Daisy Dukes on and stuff. Nobody complained then.
Yeah. But the whole point in bringing that up is the fact that you can go back to the Marlboro Man. They didn't choose the Marlboro Man because he was just some ugly cowboy who rode a horse and smoked cigarettes. No. The women liked him.
Yeah, it's a rugged cowboy.
Yeah, smoked a cigarette.
Stern face, leathery.
Strong face, leathery. Yeah. So, honestly, there are some people that are less than attractive in commercials. Does that make the commercial bad or worse than one that has a sexual person in it that's very attractive? No, I don't think it does. I think it's all in how you write the ad, what the ad's about, and how you bring that. Because there's some, what was the guy, the Mr. Whiffle?
Mr. Whiffle.
Please don't squeeze the Charmin.
Don't squeeze the Charmin.
He wasn't a really good-looking guy, but he was a great spokesperson for that particular product. Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, but yet advertising agencies think that, I don't know, you're a male, I'm a male. I saw the ad. Yeah, it was sensual, sexual. Of course, I'm not going to buy those jeans. Yeah. That's just not something.
But you're watching.
Well, I mean, I can't not. I mean, everywhere you turn around, it shows up. And
Right.
that's the whole point of it. It's like now, like you said, stocks go up. Mm-hmm. Their exposure is greater than what it was. And the stockholders, if there are any, I guess it's a publicly owned
Yeah, it's
company.
publicly traded.
Yeah. So there you go.
And I mean, American Outfitters started off as, they didn't even do regular clothes. They were kind of like akin to Cabela's or Big Five or something. They did sporting stuff, and eventually they went into lingerie and all this other stuff.
Well, sports figures wear lingerie too.
Yeah, but not lace. But
I've never worn lace.
No. It didn't look too good on me.
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I just haven't. You know.
Was that J. Edgar Hoover?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he was gone before American Eagle Outfitters started.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's always a controversy. We're looking at like H&M back in, 2018, featured a black child wearing a hoodie. He's the coolest monkey in the jungle.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Now that I probably would have had
You probably would have had a problem.
I probably would have had a little issue with that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the other one? Is who did the Abercrombie and Fitch? Two Wongs don't make a white. Don't make it white. Remember that?
I don't remember that.
Oh
one.
my God, that was huge.
Was it?
That was huge. Now there's those that are that's kind of it's clearly a racist punt, right? I mean the two Wongs. Like,
But where did the commercial have two Wongs in it?
it was a shirt actually.
Oh, it was just
it was
a shirt.
It wasn't an advertisement. It was a shirt.
Okay.
And it nearly destroyed them.
Yeah.
I probably like this one because I think this one is. I don't think it was a commercial. This H&M from 2018. I don't think it was a commercial. It just says it was a hoodie that had a label.
Right.
You know, coolest monkey in the jungle. Commercials, yeah. I think what was the Bud Light deal?
Well, because they became apparently Anheuser-Busch became woke all of a sudden.
It became woke, yeah.
And then the Bud Light because did it feature a transgender or promoted a transgender individual?
I can never remember her name, but yeah, she you know, and I don't even think it was something they sold. I think they just put like a commemorative type.
Or maybe it was a stand, a cardboard stand with a Bud Light or something. I don't remember, but I do remember it being a
big deal, right? I mean, again, these things get up to the president level and stuff like that, and it's you know you can make or break, but
these things. I mean, this is nothing new. I mean, I remember back in the 70s, there was the white man and woman went into the quote Chinese laundry.
Yes.
And he said, "How do you get our clothes so clean?"
commercials.
And the guy goes, "Ancient Chinese secret." And his wife in the background, "Some ancient Chinese secret. We use Calgon."
Yeah.
You know, but it was obviously they were trying to say that, well, Asian people got your clothes cleaner.
Right.
You know?
There's always a little bit of undertone. But it's what pulls you in. And you got to have a little bit of some thick skin.
Well, you got to have a sense of humor
and
sometimes
a sense of humor.
too.
Yes.
You know, you got to have a sense of humor because I mean, we can go through life yelling and screaming about everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the little things don't add up to a whole lot.
No.
The little things, you have to have a whole lot of little things just to add up to one big thing. So focus on the big things.
Yeah.
You know, focus on a $200 million ballroom and starving children.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yes.
That just got political. Sorry about that.
It's
Sorry
like,
about that.
oh my God, I just lost my train of thought with that one. That's hilarious.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No, a long day at work, so it's almost everything's a brain fart.
Yeah, we actually work too, by the way. We don't do this for money.
No.
We'd like to. Click. Yeah, click and subscribe.
Yeah. Click.
Yeah. Did you find it yet? I was hoping to give you a little time.
No, I didn't find it yet.
Okay. Because it was before the $200 million ballroom, so that won't help you bring it back. Okay.
No, it was right before you said.
Well, we were talking about the racially motivated things. We were talking about like using Asians to promote where we clean our laundry better.
Yeah,
went into that.
I was just thinking about the progression of commercials. Like, I'm sitting there watching TV the other day, and I see, like you said, you'll see a same-sex couple, which you didn't see in the 70s or 80s, and it just didn't happen in commercials. And then I'm watching the commercial of the day, and I see this family sitting there watching TV. The mother's white, the husband's black, and the kid's Asian. And it's clear, it's just like.
Well, maybe he's adopted from China.
It could be adopted. It could be
People
Angelina
adopt
Jolie.
children,
Yeah, I mean, it was, but it was a cute commercial.
Right.
I thought it was really cute. I thought it was great that there's no racial boundaries. There's no, this can only a white couple can have a nice fancy house and all the situation. They just kind of they kind of put it out there, and I think that stuff is great. And it's
gotta come from a natural place. it can't be contrived. Like sometimes you see a show and all of a sudden there's an odd character in there and you go, well, why was that character in there? You know, did they contrive that to put somebody in there? Or was that, you know, like, you know, for many years you had a lot of white cast. They'd had a black member. You had, you know, recently you'd have, you know, all straight cast. You had to add a gay member.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like, are they contriving this? It's okay. It feels okay when it's natural.
Right.
You know,
But when they're throwing it in your face
and when they're contriving, in other words, they want you to believe something by doing this,
Right.
as opposed to it just happening.
I don't know if
Now
I should say it. It's like
here's a commercial I wonder if we'll ever see, and if it's already out there, I don't know about it. All right, 2 gay men in a Viagra commercial
yeah, that would
or a
be,
Cialis commercial.
Cialis.
Now I mean, because I think that would piss off some people.
Oh yeah.
That would ire some people, but yet I don't know that a company is ready for that backlash yet.
I mean, I'm pretty sure people get pissed off at regular Viagra commercials.
Well, I will tell you.
There's some people out
I will
there.
tell you. This is a quote that my dad said. Back in the day, in the 70s, they had tampon commercials, right? And they were saying, "Oh, Hannah, my period's very heavy. You know, oh, we'll use this. I use this tampon. You know, it's really maxi strength and all this stuff." My dad said, "The day they show you how to use it, I'm throwing the TV out the window." Because he kind of knew that it was kind of coming to that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It wouldn't be long, you know?
It's
I don't know.
I mean, to go back to it, it's the way it spreads. I remember, I think Joe Rogan did a show and he told someone. This kind of goes to just how the thing spreads, how crazy things get when things are, you know, gets out of hand and it just becomes like a wildfire. Joe Rogan, and I could be wrong on this, but Joe Rogan had mentioned that he had seen a litter box in the school. Actually, he saw a litter box in the school. And I got friends on Facebook that are literally posting, "Oh yeah, my kid said they saw a litter box in school," and all the schools are going, "There's no litter boxes in the schools. There's not one school that has an actual litter box. This is for the furries.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
all the kids want to identify as animals and stuff like that. So there was this big thing to put litter boxes in schools, and Joe Rogan came and said, "I just said that just to see what will happen," and it was everywhere. It was everywhere, just like overnight, you know.
Well, that shows you how much power he has, how much influence he has. Maybe not power, but influence.
He has a lot of influence, but it became more of like a psychosis. Like people actually were sharing stories that they've witnessed litter boxes in schools. So it's like
It was almost like he was doing a science experiment there to see how far this would go.
World of Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, type of deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, and it worked. It worked. He laughed about it, and I can't say 100% certain that he actually did it. I know he claimed he did it, but that could be another Rogan joke, you know, a prank. But yeah, I think it's just way out of hand. You have to want to look and see you know, the racial Third Reich, blonde hair, blue eyes, Auschwitz type situation going on in the genocide.
Do you think that is going to affect advertising companies for the next year or so on what they put out? You think it's going to make companies more sensitive, or you think it's going to make them go, "Ooh, we can have the same result if we do the same thing"?
I think it'll go both ways. I think some companies they're gonna tiptoe, seeing how the climate is and see how far out of proportion this is blown up. They're going to really overanalyze their commercials going forward, and I think some companies are going to go, "Let's see how close we can get to this." You know, let's see how close if we got a product we want to sell, let's see how close we can get to the, you know, because I mean, look at rappers, right? Some rappers put out an album, nobody knows what it is. Go shoot somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And then
that's
all
one
of a
way to do
sudden
it,
their
yeah.
record sales are now going or we don't have records anymore, but their sales are going through the roof. So sometimes negative publicity is very good publicity.
Yeah, well, then they got street cred, you know, and then the other rappers or the other people that love that kind of music are going, "Oh, I want to listen to him because you know he's cool," or
he's the real deal.
Yeah, he's a real deal. Yeah. I'm not out for doing that.
No. But you know, I think a lot of, and it really depends on, I guess, the product too. A lot of people are going to have to be walking on eggshells. But there's some people who just you get a real savvy advertising agency, and they're looking at this. And I know there's people out there going, man, let's see, what could we do? What could we say?
Well, I think my Cialis idea was a good one.
I think that will work.
I mean, that would definitely get some attention for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's being used in that fashion. So yeah, why not advertise it? You know,
Gosh, you said that, and then my mind just went there. Yeah, like Seinfeld says, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's that's the difference between being aware and woke.
Yeah,
in the definition of woke today.
Yeah.
I know it goes on, but that's fine. That's you do you, I do me.
Yeah, and there's never, and just make sure you guys are aware of that. Like none of us are having any issues with it. It's just we're just talking about a commercial that obviously never hit I don't think it ever hit the airways. I've never seen one.
Yeah.
Now, sadly enough, that does fall on the lines of like, HIV commercials. They have gay couples, so that could be taken out of context and taken as a negative. Oh, so you're saying gay people have HIV? Because they'll show several, male couples. They never show female to female couples. I don't know if that's maybe because it's not possible to spread.
It's possible, but it's not as
common.
Yeah, common.
And you'll see, male female couples, but they really are heavy emphasizing the male and male couples. In these suppressive HIV commercials, suppressive medicine.
Well, and even if it's not that, I mean, there's commercials out there. There are telephone company commercials. There's commercials where I've seen where I can't remember what it was. The two men on the thing are sharing gifts or something like that. It's for some, I can't remember what the commercial was, but they're sharing gifts. They're obviously a couple. So it's not that. It just depends on what the product is and what they're trying to say with the product.
Right. And again, in the interest of looking for things to be angry about, it's like there's a commercial where the husband comes home and a big fancy house, like stone, all glass or whatever, and he comes into this big kitchen and the wife is sitting there and he goes, "I got you a gift," and he goes, "What?" And she shows him, he shows her. She goes outside and there's these two big like SUVs, like brand spanking new, and I think she runs to the blue one. And she gets in the blue one. And he goes, "Well, that one's actually mine." She's like, "Thank you." And she takes off. And I'm sitting there going, okay, well, am I supposed to believe that? I mean, if I wanted to be angry, am I supposed to believe that black families or Asian families can't afford cars and just buy them?
Why didn't they use a black family?
Yeah, why is there no black family?
Why didn't they use an Asian family?
Yeah, what is up with
Latino family?
Yeah, Latinos can't afford to buy brand new trucks and have them delivered.
You know how they do that? They do a black man and a white woman, or a white male and a black woman. That's how they make the family. That way they avoid that.
They avoid it.
But again, all right, just to bring that commercial up. If I were the dude bringing home that to my wife, I'd only bring the car I wanted her to have home and tell her this is hers, and then drive up in mine later.
And yours, yeah. Because she definitely took the one she wanted.
Then if she goes, "Well, I wanted the blue one," I said, "Well, honey, you should have chosen it because it's mine."
Yeah, that would make sense.
But now, just kidding, because I will give my wife whatever she wants. I don't care. Yeah. If she wants to drive the blue one, that's fine with me.
Smart guy. That's how he's able to keep the gray hairs and get the gray hairs.
Yeah, not lose the hair altogether.
Yeah, you lose it. But
I'm a lucky man though, so I can't complain.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. We both are.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I these commercials, I think you have to be edgy to kind of bring people in.
You do.
You have to be edgy. You have to say something to pull people in. Sometimes it sounds like wait, did I just hear a curse word on this commercial? Mm-hmm. And you're gonna look. You're gonna pay attention to it. I don't think anything on this commercial.
Let me ask you, because I don't remember. I saw it once, but I haven't seen it since, and I probably should have watched it before we did this. But they didn't say anywhere in there that my blonde hair and blue eyes, and do they?
I think because there's several.
Does she refer to it?
I think so. I think there's several. I think she does mention something about like and I could be wrong, and I'm sure somebody's going to correct me in the comments. But actually, please do correct me in the comments if I am wrong.
Actually, what'll happen is I'll go back and watch it, and I'll put a sentence underneath when we make a mistake. Usually, I
Larry
usually
was
do.
wrong.
George was wrong too. So.
But I think
anyway.
she does mention something about her eyes or something, or her hair. But I mean, she's got pretty hair. She's got pretty eyes. She has.
You
a
haven't
nice
even
shape.
mentioned the thing that everybody else mentioned.
The boobs.
She's got huge boobs.
She's got huge boobs. And that's what got her the commercial. I don't know, but I digress.
Yeah.
But I did not, and maybe I was staring at her chest and didn't listen to the words. Who cares?
Now there you go. That is true too, though.
I mean,
it's subliminal. They want you to look at that. They don't want you to hear what she's saying.
Yeah.
You hear that. You see the jean jacket, the blue jeans that she's wearing, and that's all you think about.
And then all of a sudden you're a mommy. You're like, I gotta go buy jeans. Yeah.
I gotta go buy Nazi jeans.
I gotta go buy Nazi jeans.
Well.
and then salute them.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
I
I think it's a fun conversation. I think it's a fun topic. I don't necessarily think, I don't know. I don't know what was in the minds of those people when they did it. So I don't really have an opinion on whether it was intentionally stereotypical or if it was accidental. But
I think more accidental than anything. I mean, I can't see, a company, a $1 billion company is aware of cancel culture. Mm-hmm. You're not gonna put yourself out there. I mean, mistakes are made. Mistakes can be made. And maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they just weren't aware that it'd be seen that way. Unless we're sitting in the room when that script was written, when the ideals were put from pen to paper and actually shot, we really can't say.
now that you mention that, it makes me think, there could be a company that is motivated by that, that they do sit in a room and they do talk about that and say, how can we get our agenda out there and guise it as a commercial? I'm not saying that's what happened, but you got to know that there's somebody out there in a boardroom somewhere with anti-beliefs or anti-Semitic beliefs or racist beliefs against blacks that say, I want to promote my race and my gender or whatever it is, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Now, of course, they can kind of counter that this whole thing by maybe next month. I can't think of the name, and I never really knew her name, so it's not like it'll come to my head. But that really, really, really dark black girl that's a model.
Hyman?
Is that her name? She's like almost like jet. She's darker than me.
But
she's
she's
like
tall,
jet black. She's
tall,
tall,
yeah.
very beautiful.
I think it's Iman is her name.
They need to pull her into an ad, and then this has to all go away.
What's wrong with Halle Berry? Is she done? Is she done?
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, I was like, wait.
She's not the it girl anymore?
I was thinking who Halle Berry was. No. Halle Berry is probably not the it girl right now.
Yeah.
She's probably not the it girl. Rihanna, maybe?
Yeah.
Beyonce.
I think Beyonce's too muddled in all the Diddy stuff right now.
She's probably that low key.
But anyway, I digress.
But yeah, just lighten up, people.
Yeah, lighten up.
Lighten up. It's.
But again, and as we end this, I'll just say it's just these two guys talking.
Yeah, it's just the two of us.
Hey, Larry, have a great night, man.
And you too.
All right.
Have a good
Hey, join us next week. Hopefully there'll be some new controversy we can talk about.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be one.